Welcome to our video training series on setting up your capital raise. In the last video, we completed the basic settings of a capital raise. In this session, we'll guide you through editing deal room settings to ensure investors can access essential property information and make an investment. Welcome to this training session on setting up your deal room. In the last session, we got through the basic settings of the capital raise. This session is divided into 3 parts. Part 1, setting up your deal room with your investment information so that investors can review the investment opportunity. Part 2, focusing on the commitment flow for investors to commit, provide accreditation, sign documents, and fund their investment. And Part 3, the final touches are setting up your lead intake form and ensuring the capital raise and investor portal are both live. The first part of this session will focus on entering information about the investment opportunity for your investors. This is known as the deal room. First, showcase image and any photos. Second, investment details. This includes a quick blurb and all the information about the investment. Third, adding key information such as IRR or property type, and any external links such as your website or booking calendar. And fourth, attachments that would be useful to the investor, such as a brochure or an investor presentation. Once you click the Deal Room tab, this is where you will be adding all of the information. First, we have the showcase image and photos in this area. Second, we have investment details. Third is metrics and resources. Fourth is attaching any documents. I will take a moment to complete all of this information and then return to review the added material with you. And we're back. Here's the showcase image and photos. A short investment headline describing the investment. The investment summary containing a bulk of information in a variety of multimedia. Here we have some information about the acquisition plan followed by a YouTube video presentation. I inserted this by clicking the camera icon and pasting the URL. Next, we have some deal points that are formatted with bullet points and bolded font. Here's a short blurb about the business plan and a table. You can insert a table by clicking the Insert Table icon and choosing your table size. Below, we have key information that I've entered. Target investor IRR equity multiple, and a bit more about the property such as the acquisition cost and property type. Then we have external resources. I've entered 2 resources, a website and a link to schedule a call. You can click the 3 dots to move up, down, or delete a row. At the bottom here, we have attachments, and I've uploaded the investor presentation. We've completed filling in the summary info and adding photos and attachments. Be sure to save any changes by clicking the button in the top right, and let's preview the portal. After adding your material to the deal room, we can now preview the room. Here's the showcase photo. To the right is the key information. The key information area is helpful for quickly highlighting information for prospective investors, so it's quickly viewable for them when they visit your deal room. As we scroll, we can see the investment highlight here with the external links. To right, we have any attachments. Then we have photos and the investment summary below. Next, we'll be working on the commitment flow for when investors click Invest Now. The second part of this session will focus on the commitment flow. First, inputting a general disclaimer. Second, settings for investor accreditation and knowing your customer. Third, e-signature documents that need to be signed by the investor. And fourth, funding options including secure ACH. Let's get started. You will find the commitment flow in the Settings tab of your capital raise. We'll go through each of these sections, beginning with the general disclaimer. This is where you can paste in your investor disclaimer that you may have received from your attorney. I've copied the text and I'll paste that right here. So we have our overview and disclosures, indications of interest, and confidentiality. Click Save Changes. Second, here is setting the accreditation requirements. The 3 options here are 1, not required, 2, required, 3, limited access for 506B placements. I'm going to select required. This will require the investor to upload an accreditation letter for the sponsor to verify. You can also enable automated verification. This will allow the investor the option to verify accreditation through one of our accreditation partners. I'll enable this feature so you can see the two options in the next video in the series. Click Save Changes. Know Your Customers, otherwise known as KYC, is a new feature coming soon. To be notified when KYC is available, click here. Click Save. Next, we'll create an e-signature template so your investors can execute the required documents within the deal room. Before we create the template, we strongly recommend creating a unique version of each document for different entity groupings. 1. Individual and joint tenants with right of survivorship. 2. Entity and trusts such as LLCs, C Corp, trust, etc. 3. Retirement such as IRAs. We have found this to reduce errors in the documents by reducing investor decision-making regarding which fields to complete and only displaying fields that are relevant to their entity type. Let's get started. You can add a document that needs to be signed in the commitment flow in 2 ways. Click Add Docs. If you've created a template already, you can select it from this drop-down. Once selected, you can choose the legal account types that must sign that specific template. Since we don't have one already, we'll start from scratch. Click Add Docs and select Create New Document to enter the workflow. Upload the document the investor needs to complete by clicking Choose File and selecting your respective document. Click Next. Enter the template name. It's a good idea to include the name of the investing entity types for which the document applies. For example, subscription agreement, individual. Select the investing account types to which this document applies. In our case, entity and trust. Click Next. Do you need more specific investment account types? If so, select Yes for a few more options. We'll proceed to selecting the signer roles. Here we'll configure who, other than the investor, needs to sign the document. If someone else needs to sign, we can click Add Signatory. From the drop-down field, we can select a predefined role or add a custom one. For this exercise, we'll keep the investor only and click Require Sponsor Counter Signature. Click Create Template. Once you click Create Template, you will see this prompt about creating your template. During the commitment process, the system will already ask for a handful of information that can be auto-populated for each investor. Click Got It. Here's my sample subscription agreement. To the left, we have a drop-down for signers. Click the drop-down, we can see 4 different options. 1. Me Now. This is used to directly fill in information right now for the template, which will be applied to every document. 2. Sender. This is the Invest Next system, which should be used to auto-populate specific fields. We'll be using this a lot in this session. 3. Investor. This role indicates which fields the investor will need to manually fill out. 4th, Sponsor. This field indicates which fields the sponsor will have to fill out. We'll start by using the Sender field to fill out most of the required information for the subscription agreement. Click the text box here, and then to the right, we're going to see some options. We can edit the placeholder text font and what text goes here. I've placed this field and would like to display the investor name. Click on what text goes here and look for contact full name. You'll see options for first and last name as well. I'll add another text box and look for the field called Investor Entity Name. In both these instances, the system will already know this information and pull those values into the respective fields. I will fill out the rest of this agreement and will then review it together. Welcome back. I've added all my sender fields along with the signature fields at the bottom. In this instance, anything in pink will be auto-populated. Anything in blue will require input from the investor. Anything in orange will require input from the sponsor. Just like that, we filled out our subscription agreements and streamlined the amount of fields an investor will need to fill in. Be sure to click Save Template, and this will be added to the e-signature documents in your commitment flow. After setting up your e-signature document, the last section is funding options. The 3 options are 1. Secure ACH, which allows an investor to send funds via ACH to your bank account directly. Visit our article called Set Up Invest Next Payments, Automated Payments for a full walkthrough tutorial. 2. Wire instructions for the investor to provide at a bank. And 3. Check instructions. Be sure to save changes after enabling your respective funding options for investors. The last setting for the capital raise is configuring the access settings for this specific deal room. There are many reasons why a sponsor or co-sponsor may want to restrict the audience for a capital raise. An audience refers to those who should be able to view the deal room. InvestNext's default audience setting for any capital raise is always set to allow all registered contacts. It will appear as an offering in their investor portal. I'll keep this setting, but let's review some other options. Select Audience allows you to choose contact filters. The system automatically generates project filters that only include investors with a position active investment in the project. If an investor has not completed their commitment yet and does not have a position in your project, they will not be included in this automated filter. Now, you may want to allow potential investors who do not yet have a registered account in your investor portal to view your capital raises deal room. There are 2 options for unregistered access. 1. Allow unregistered investors to see this offering on the offerings page. 2. Allow unregistered investors to view the deal room. I'll keep all portal users and check both unregistered access options. You can find the direct room URL here. Click Save Changes. Sweet! Now our access settings have been configured. This session's third and final part will focus on the final touches to go live. First, setting the capital raise status. Second, investor portal access settings. Third, form submissions, editing your investor lead form. And fourth, the final check. Let's get started, we're nearly there. On the overview page, click Set Status. From there, you can update the status to one of 4 options. Option 1, Draft, the investor portal, which is used to initialize the deal room and commitment flow, has nothing visible. Option 2, Upcoming, the deal room is available on the investor portal, and investors will be able to enter a soft commitment. They will not be prompted with any paperwork. Option 3, Active, the deal room is available on the investor portal, and investors can complete the entire commitment process, including completing e-signature documents and funding. Option 4, Closed, investors can no longer submit new commitments. However, existing commitments will remain and can be completed. Set the capital raise status to active to begin collecting commitments. Click Update Status. Now your capital raise is live. Let's set up your investor lead intake form for your investor portal. Click Communications. Click on the Forms tab, then Actions, and select Edit Form. This form will be presented to individuals who self-register for your portal. By default, first name, last name, and email address are required. The soft commitment field will only be displayed for a given offering and not part of the general investor portal landing page. I'll add birthday and phone number. I want to make the phone number required, just in case I need to call the contact. So I'll click the pencil icon on the phone field, mark it as required, and click Update. I'll drag this to under the email field. Click Preview to view your form and be sure to hit Save Changes. Let's finish off with the final touches. Let's revisit our investor portal settings to double check we're live and enable form submissions. Click the gear icon, then click Investor Portal. Great. Let's double check our settings. Login page looks good with my logo and background image. Branding looks great with the logo, background, and font color selected. The welcome message is on point. Metrics are good. Finally, access. The investor portal is enabled. The last 2 settings I'll enable are form submissions and enable form submission auto approval. Let's save changes. Congratulations! You're all set with an active capital raise and investor portal. In the next video, we'll explore the investors' perspectives, how they can subscribe to the investment offering, and your perspective as a sponsor. Thank you for watching and following along for your deal room setup.